Six in the dark, visions of bodies being burned. Whole walls just staring at a nigga. I'm paranoid, sleeping with my finger on the trigger. My mother's always stressing I ain't living right, but I ain't going out without a fight. See, every time my eyes close, I start sweating. The blood starts coming out my nose. It's somebody.
Welcome back, fam. Once again, it's your host, Jay Williams of the Jay Williams Boss Up Podcast. I understand you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us, and I greatly appreciate it. Today, fam, we got a serious topic we're talking about. We're talking about mental health in the Black community, suffering in silence. Why is there such a stigma with mental health in the Black community? And we're going to talk about that a little tonight. I got a news clip that I want to play, and then on the back end, we're going to talk about how mental health is such a stigma in the Black community. And check this out, fam, and we're going to discuss it on the back end here, okay? Be right back with you.
Mental health issues are mounting in the wake of COVID-19, making it a priority discussion nationwide. Some racial groups are historically hesitant to seek help.
A local psychologist tells me the stigma of mental illness and seeking counseling is prevalent in the Black community. She says although this is slowly getting better, the barriers are rooted in historical structural racism. Dr. Ebony Jackson breaking the stigma of mental health care in the Black community comes from a very personal place.
Many therapists and psychologists such as myself got into this field because we want people who look like us to know that it's okay to come get help. And those people may feel more comfortable seeing someone who looks like them.
A licensed psychologist here in San Antonio, Dr. Jackson wrote her whole dissertation on the subject. Jackson says these barriers originate from institutional racism throughout history.
Thinking about the Tuskegee syphilis studies that they did over decades.
From 1932 to 1972, the United States Public Health Service and Tuskegee University conducted the Tuskegee syphilis study, an experiment following the natural progression of untreated syphilis. The impoverished Black men used in the study were oblivious, only told they were receiving free health care.
Overall, that helped kind of feed the mistrust of the medical community, and then branches out to like the mental health community.
Dr. Jackson said the stigma has also stemmed from underrepresentation of Black psychologists in the field. She said other races saw therapy as something white people did.
About the 1960s and 70s, right along with the civil rights movement, you saw this influx of like Black psychologists and therapists coming about. They didn't feel represented within the general population of the American Psychological Association, and so they established their own association, the ABSI.
Paving the way for open conversation and comfort in the Black community to seek help from doctors who understood them and their struggles. And that continues today.
There's a whole community of groups on social media, especially Facebook, of like Black clinicians or other clinicians of color who are coming together to get information out there to our communities.
She hopes the stigma will continue to fade, especially as communities nationwide reconcile with African American history and take major steps towards a healthier future for all. This is one of many stories we're doing as part of our new series, Voice.
Yeah, no, there's such a barrier in the Black community in terms of mental health and addressing mental health. Me personally, I've known someone who dealt with mental health for many years. And one of the options that this person chose is prayer. Prayer is good, but sometimes you need more than prayer. You need treatment. Sometimes it may require medication. Well, tonight, fam, we have somewhat of an expert joining us tonight on the Boss Up Podcast, Ms. Katrina A. She's an advocate in the community of mental health, and she straight out of the boot, Lake Charles, Louisiana, and she's joining us tonight to discuss mental health in the Black community, suffering in silence. Hey, what's going on with you, Mom?
Hi, good evening.
You all right?
I am great. How are
Well,
you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us here on the Jay Williams Boss Up podcast. Thank
Thank you
you.
for having me.
We appreciate it. Now, what are some of the barriers you would say in terms of mental health in the black community?
I would say one of the top barriers would be the high cost of mental health. Because some people don't have insurance that would cover the services that some mental health facilities would offer. In some states, Medicaid is offered, uh, that would cover like certain diagnosis or of that sort. Dealing with children, uh, it's really covered, the age group, we'd say from 7 to 25, maybe, again, depending on the diagnosis. From my experience, I've worked with children and adults,
Hmm.
different diagnosis, different situation. And it really depended on the diagnosis. But the cost of it is a big deal.
Now, what you think some of the stigma and some of the I think in the black community that like for instance, I know a black man that wouldn't go sit down and see a therapist. I remember after my sister passed away, it really hit me hard, and that's the first time ever that I went and talked to someone. You know what I mean? I really needed to
Right,
go process some things.
right.
So, would you think? Some of the stigma in terms of black community that you don't go see, you won't tell no one our problems, or we're gonna take it to Jesus type thing.
Oh, goodness. A lot of people, again, like you mentioned before, a lot of people, direct us to, we say prayer, like our grandparents. If something was wrong, we go
I'm
pray
gonna pray
about
that demon out you, child. I'm gonna pray that
it.
demon out
Yes. Yes, demons seen and unseen. Everything was prayer. You get a nick on your finger, go pray about it, or God is going to heal you without going to the doctor. you know um it's a big thing in the black community because we were like really drawn to religion, even as slaves, because that was like our way to express ourselves. So it carried on pretty much through the generations. you
you.
know I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry. I mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Okay, it carried on, through the generations and everything. So when you say to someone, hey, you need to go and see someone, you need to go talk to a professional, you know and then that's where we get into, suffering in silence, because I can go talk to my best friend about it, but she can't go beyond saying, oh, I understand, whether she's been through it or not.
Mhm.
Whereas I can go to a psychiatrist or therapist, and they can prescribe me a prescription, or it may be just a matter of me just talking to them for an hour. Again, everybody's situation is different, until it's diagnosed. you
Gotcha.
know
Now, what are some ways that we can overcome the stigma in the black community and kind of shift the narrative in our community that it's okay to say I'm not okay? What are some of the ways that we can overcome that?
I
What
would
things what things can we do
I
to
would say
encourage our loved ones who may be having some issues?
I would say honestly, you would need to speak if you're not comfortable speaking with someone on a professional level, speak to that best friend, speak to that aunt, but somewhere down the line that particular person has to say, "Hey, you need to go, to a higher level, of counseling or something to that nature." And also like with our after school programs, even teacher conferences with our student, with our kids, teacher,
Mhm.
it's different things that we can do. Like in my profession, I work with high schoolers. So if I see an issue with a student, we kind of look at like, okay, I wonder what's going on at home. We kind of like start just trying to see, track where it's at, and sometimes a parent will be honest with you and say, hey, we don't have no milk at home. We don't have no cereal at home. We don't have no lights at home. It's different things that'll bring a parent to just explode, because some people they'll suffer in silence, and then some people they'll suffer, out loud.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, what are some signs that we should be concerned if in
now
terms of you know, in a family setting, or just what are some of the signs that we should know that a person is suffering with some type of
not for
huh?
I would say far as signs, like I said, I can do it on a high school level, little things. Just for instance, each morning I'm at the front door checking backpacks, just checking backpacks. So we ask the kids to put the phone inside their backpack so we can pass it through. So one particular student had a backpack. I stuck the phone in there. The phone slid out because he had a hole in his backpack. And that bothered me because I was like, I wanted to ask him, do you need a backpack? It's all about paying attention, just paying attention. Just paying attention. Because if you have a student that tells you, hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and then this next morning that student doesn't say anything, that should raise a red flag. Like, I wonder what's the matter. Do you need to talk to someone? Because you never know when a person could be on the verge of suicide. If it's inconsistent behavior, red flag.
So to what in a high school setting, I'm sure with the emotions and growing and want to be a part of the in crowd, want to be accepted, I'm sure that there's a lot of kids in a high school setting that may be suffering silence because they don't have sometimes they don't have the communication skills to communicate that
right.
I'm not feeling well. What should I
Right.
do? Now, do in a high school setting, do you guys have therapists or professionals that can talk to those kids or address those kids' needs?
Yes, we do have mental health specialists that's housed at the school in the Spring ISD district. They're housed at the school through a private agency that comes in, and they speak with the children, if something is going on or if they're exhibiting like a negative behavior. And like my position at the school is, if they're showing negative behavior, they come to me. We call it ISI, in school in isolation. And we go through, I done started like doing the icebreaker with them. We get, like different little positive quotes and everything like that. And like in between the sessions or anything, they'll say a positive quote or something, and it's just breaking the ice with them because they don't know me and I don't know them. So they trying to figure me out and I'm trying to figure them out. So at the end, we're kind of like associates now. They're like, okay, Miss K, I'll see you tomorrow or I'll see you the next day, like that. But it's really like just breaking the ice and really paying close attention to what's going on. And if you can get that relationship with them, they'll let you know everything, and then from there you can contact the counselor if it's something going on at home. You go through the proper channels, to get them help.
Okay, what now? If someone's watching this right now and they feeling some kind of way, what should you suggest? If someone dealing with, I don't know, I'm just not feeling right. I'm not feeling good. I can't explain it. What you suggest? Should they, what is it, a number like a suicide number or anything like that? Or
yes, there is a suicide number, but the main thing, if they're feeling like, I can't take it no more, I would suggest 911. But if they feel like, okay, I'm okay, but yeah, there's a 800 number for, suicidal, but 911 is the way to go. Yeah.
well, I
Because
looked that number up.
you don't know.
I looked that number up. If anyone should looking at this may feel some kind of ways. 1-800-273-8255. So that's 1-800-273-8255. If someone feeling some kind of way that or they just need someone to talk to, they can definitely call that number and get to, at least have someone to talk to. Now, in your experience, have you had anyone that here recently that you needed to address because they were dealing with some issues that felt like that they were a danger to themselves or others?
I have not had an issue like that since I've been here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
While I was in Lake Charles working at a mental health agency, I did have that a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So this young man was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And, we were doing our counseling session and he went into, I want to harm myself. So at that point, the session stops,
Yeah.
and he was brought, to the hospital to get observed and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, I don't know, how he's doing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, once they say those words, it's certain words that you listen for,
Mm-hmm.
They'll be rambling like, okay, but certain words, you got to take it.
Yeah.
You can't like take it for granted.
Yeah, and it's just so like so bad that you're right. So in our community, I thought it was very important for to have a platform where I just address those, put light, shine light on the issues that affect our community the most. And one thing is mental health, because I know several people who deal with mental health issues, and it's a stigma in our community. And we just gotta let everyone know that it's okay to get help.
Yes.
It's okay to ask for help.
Okay.
It's okay not to be okay. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Hey, well, anyway, we appreciate you joining us, and I appreciate it. And you always got a platform here. If you want to come back and chop it up with us, you definitely can. Once again, thank you for joining the Boss Up platform podcast. You take care of mine, and we'll talk soon. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right,
thank you for having me.
No problem. Once again, fam, I try to address those issues that affect our community. Not only that, it's important for me to be a voice for the voiceless. You know what I mean, and to represent the underdogs. So once again, if you're suffering in silence and you need to talk to someone, that number is 1-800-273-8255. That's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So if you need someone to talk to, you definitely get you some help. And like Miss Kay said, it's okay not to be okay. Please, if you see anyone in your family or know anyone in your family is suffering, showing some signs that, hey, things are not okay, please encourage them to get some help. And also you get help as well. All right. Signing off. This is Jay Williams, Boss Up Podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in. So until we talk next time, and you guys keep it safe, and we out. Peace.